Hi everyone, this is Dee from Purple Sage Healthy Living. Welcome to my channel and to my kitchen. Today I'd like to show you how to make a cayenne tincture using the magical butter machine. Now I know somebody's going to ask, what in the world is a magical butter machine? Oh honey, just you wait and see. And thank you, Sierra. Honey, if it wasn't for you, I'd know nothing about this thing. But before I do that, I'd like to give a shout out to Herbalist Kareem over at 4 Cycles of Life, and to thank him for showing us how to put our own apothecaries together, and for encouraging me to do this video to show people how to use this with a powder. I had seen many videos on YouTube using botanicals, but none with powder. So because I use cayenne every day, and my husband does also, when you get to a certain age and your joints ache and you get a little stiff, things get a little slow, cayenne pepper really helps. In the morning we'll usually have some in a glass of water, and I can't tell you when the last time I had, and I do have arthritis, so they say. And I did have problems before I started using it. But it has been a blessing for me and for my husband, who had a heart attack about 15 years ago. And now he uses that instead of, using aspirin. And it just opens up your blood vessels and, gets stuff moving, helps with your digestion. Just a whole lot of things that affect us as older adults. So before I get started, let me get all set up here, and we'll take it from there. Hold on. Okay guys, I just want to let you know that this video is not about the complete operation of the magical butter machine. Maybe I'll do that in another video. This is actually how to do the tincture in the magical butter machine. Now, and I also want to let you know I'm not being endorsed by them or anything. I just love the product after I used it, and I just wanted to share it with you. Okay, with that being said, that's what the box looks like. Okay guys, this is what it looks like. It looks like a large kettle, and in the box you also get the basic manual. This one is for the tinctures, of course. You can also use it to do infused cooking oil, infused butter. It has a whole lot of stuff in here that maybe you may be interested in. You can also infuse your olive oil or any kind of oil, whatever kind of oil you want to use. It does have a cookbook. Okay, now that's enough about them. Okay guys, this is so simple. The directions are actually on the top. You select your temperature and select the time. Now, as you can see, this is what it looks like. It tells you tinctures are either 4 to 8 hours, whichever you choose. And that's how we're going to do this. Now, you just take the top off, like so. This is your grinder. So, even though I'm using a powder, normally if you're just using botanicals, it will grind up whatever you're using over the course of the process time. So, you don't have to worry about, you don't have to cut it up in small pieces. If you got something that's just cut and sifted, then you'll be fine. And again, with the powder, now according to the manual, it tells you, you don't use powder. But honey, they can't tell me what to do with my stuff. Okay. So, and this does get hot during operation. So after it's over, please be careful when you're using it. It does get very hot, and they do have this nice little glove, but I do have common sense, and I will not be using this while it's too hot for me to handle. I don't care if I do have a glove, but that's up to you, honey. That's your business. Okay, now Previously, before I got started, I used a scale. Now the ratio that I use, according to the book, it says that you should use, oh snap, hold on one second, people. Okay, according to the book, it says use 1/4 ounce to 1 ounce per cup. So unfortunately, Miss Smarty Britches did not read this correctly the first time I did it. And you know, I was just I did a cayenne pepper tincture, yes, and I told people that, you know, I can take a whole dropper full, and they were like, no, you're only supposed to take a drop or two in a glass of water. I don't know what you're talking about. I got this thing. But honey, what I did not know was I used 1 ounce for the 4 ounces of the vodka that I used, the alcohol. So, of course, mine is probably not as strong as somebody else's would be. Okay, so this time I won't make that mistake. I've already measured out my powder and my alcohol. Now, I'm using vodka, which already has, it's already been filtered. In fact, this one, it's been filtered 6 times. So, it's, you know, I like it, it's kind of smooth. And the reason I use alcohol is because it actually has... cayenne is already strong. It's just, they call it the strongest herb in the herb family. But the alcohol will actually extract all of the properties. Now, I know some people gonna say, oh, well, I don't do alcohol. Honey, do what you do. Now, you can use glycerin. You can use vinegar. You can use honey. There's a lot of things that you can use, but I'm not talking about that. I'm telling you about how I make mine. Okay, I have 4 cups of alcohol. I've already measured out 2 ounces on this scale. I'm using 2 ounces of cayenne pepper. Now, according to the book, like I said, it says 1/4 to 1 ounce per cup of your liquid. I used a half a ounce for this, so that's why I have 2 ounces to this 4 cups of okay, that's my alcohol. So let's get this party started. Now, in my case, I'm going to put my liquid in first because I don't want that cayenne splashing back on me. And I guess you can do it however you want, but to me, that makes a little bit more sense. So I'm going to plug this up. I never plug up anything until I get ready to use it. I plugged in the back part. Okay. I'm about to pour in my alcohol. Now this is 4 cups of alcohol. And this is the 2 ounce of cayenne pepper. Okay. Now, gonna put the top back on the machine. And it does have like a little groove to make sure you set it in correctly. And it will not go all the way down unless you have it seated just so. Alright. I'm gonna plug it into the socket. Oh, and now it's going to do its magic. This is why it's called a magic butter machine, I'm assuming. Okay, so now I'm going to program what I want, which will be the temperature, which will be here. And I'm going to put it on 130. because that's the lowest temperature, right? I don't want to overheat my ingredients. So I'm gonna hit it once, that's for no heat, and once more for 130 degrees. Then I'm going to push 4 hours and mark tincture. Okay? Okay, baby. That's it. It starts doing this little, you see all this is cute. It will start making noise in a little bit. I'm gonna let it run and I'll come back in 4 hours. This is kind of like, if you can remember back in the day, those of you who are as old as I am, Ron Popeil, set it and forget it. So this is all you have to do. You can walk away and do whatever you got to do. I don't know if you can hear this. It gives you a little light show. Uh-oh, sorry. It gives you a little light show while it's doing its thing. Okay, so after 4 hours, I'll be back and let you see the finished product. Okay, I'm going to let you see part of the operation. The lights go around and around, and I guess that's just part of the show. It's very interesting. You can hear it grinding away. Well, if I be quiet, you can. I'm going to back up. You can hear it every now and then. You'll hear it. There you go. So, all right, in 4 hours, we'll be back, finish up. Okay, welcome back, everyone. The tincture has completed, the cycle has completed, and I did let it cool off before, and now it's ready to pour up. But before I do that, I just want to clarify something. I said that the Magical Butter Machine manual says not to use powder. That's not true. What it actually says is that there's no need to pre-grind whatever you're using. So that's kind of a different thing. So I know the powder works because I've done it before. The second thing is, I told you that the machine, once I turned it on, it had started to grind. It actually wasn't grinding, it was stirring. Now when it actually starts to grind, it makes a little more noise. And it's no worse than, it's not even as bad as a blender when it goes off. And it only lasts for a few minutes, not even a minute, I guess. So I just wanted to clarify that before I went any further. Okay, so without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and pour this stuff up, let you see what it looks like, and we're going to call it a night. All right. Okay, now we're ready to pour it up. I have on my gloves. It's not hot, but I don't want to take the chance of getting this cayenne in my in my eye. So I'm going to take the top off. And you can see where it has grind and left a little bit of residue on the top. Now I'm going to pour the contents of the machine over into this glass bowl. Well, if this thing will quit moving. Okay, I'm going to put it in this glass bowl using, it's a strainer that comes with the Magical Butter Machine. And I like it because it has a very thin, nothing too much can get through there. It gets all of the any larger pieces that may be left. Okay, before I do that, let me show you what it looks like. That's what it looks like when it's done. Okay, so we're going, ooh, child, don't inhale. So now we're going to pour it over into the strainer. And you do it just like you would do any other herbs or anything that you were straining. You just take the top and you start to squeeze until you get all of the liquid out. And be careful, because as you squeeze, some of it will come up to the top. So make sure that you're paying attention to the top as well as the bottom. Now, if you wanted to use something else to do your straining with, maybe a nut bag or something, sure, that's fine. Whatever you have. As you can see, when you start getting to the very bottom, it kind of slows down. You just have to let it take its time so you don't make a mess, because that's easy to do. If you squeeze too hard, like I said, it's going to start coming out of the top. So I'm going to finish squeezing this out, because see, that's exactly what I mean. I'm going to let this, I'm going to go ahead and finish this up off camera, and then I'll show you what we have after I'm done. Okay, I finished pouring it up, and now I'm going to pour it into this other glass measuring cup. And as you can see, there's no residue left. It did a great job. Now, oh well, let's put this here. I'm going to move this over because I will put it in a mason jar after I'm done to use for later. Now, I want to show you, I'm going to try to roll this down without making a big mess to show you what's left in the bottom. Now there's still a little liquid left, and I will probably squeeze it on out later. Well, maybe it's easier to show you on the bottom because I'm still squeezing. This is what's left on the bottom. And you can keep squeezing until you can't get any more, or however you want to do it. But that completes the actual process. I hope you learned something. Maybe if you're able to purchase the machine, it'd be well worth it if you are into doing tinctures. Like I said, I think it's an awesome piece of machinery. Now, if you have any questions or any comments, please leave them below, and I'll try my best to answer as well as I can. I am not an expert. I'm just going by my own personal experience. But I'll be happy to share anything, any questions that you may have. I'll try to answer as best I can. You all take care. Until the next video, we'll talk later.